welcome to Liberty and Gun Rights Podcast, Episode 21. My name is James Moffitt, and I will be your host. Today is Sunday, February the 25th, 2024. The first thing I want to talk about is the meetup in Anderson County that is coming up on Thursday morning. And let me find the screen here. Coffee, Donuts, and South Carolina Gun Law. That's a picture of Steve Shaw. And Shaw's 2023. Join leading South Carolina gun law author and attorney Steve Shaw along with attorney Robert Merting for free South Carolina gun law talks. Starting Thursday, February the 29th at 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. Or if you can't attend in person, there'll be a live 30-minute mini seminar that you can watch that's going to be recorded anytime on your device. So the location is going to be the classroom at Guest Brady LLC at 745 North Pleasantburg Drive in Greenville, South Carolina. I'm going to repeat that address. It's going to be in the classroom at Guest Brady LLC at 745 North Pleasantburg Drive in Greenville, South Carolina. So if you're in the Greenville area, Anderson County, Pickens County, any of the surrounding counties in the upstate, I would highly recommend that you attend this seminar. I'm going to go ahead and read some more of this. It says, just South Carolina gun law, existing and proposed in Columbia and Washington. No sales pitches, no fluff, and no wasting of your time or ours. We're in a period of rapidly changing proposals to South Carolina and federal gun law. Further, there's eroding confidence in the information and advocacy provided by sources like SLED and the NRA. We are practicing South Carolina firearms attorneys who have handled cases like self-defense shootings, CWP denials, inherited NFA firearms, and restoration of civil rights. We have decades of experience representing gun owners, gun shops, and shooting ranges. We want the Second Amendment community of the upstate to have accurate existing law and reliable analysis of proposed laws and the record of candidates for political offices. Attorney Steve Shaw is the author of Shaw's 2023 South Carolina Gun Law. Published annually, it's the authoritative book on self-defense, CWP, and possession of firearms in South Carolina. It's the only South Carolina gun law book in the libraries of the South Carolina Supreme Court, the University of South Carolina School of Law, and the South Carolina Criminal Justice Academy. Attorney General Alan Wilson writes on the back cover, "This is a comprehensive book that's a great resource for the average layperson or legal practitioner. I highly recommend it." For over 15 years in a row now, Shaw has produced the South Carolina Supreme Court Commission on CLE-approved South Carolina gun law seminar for attorneys and judges throughout the state. Attorney Robert Merting is a leading firearms law lawyer located right here in the upstate. You can now get the same peer-reviewed content presented by Steve and Robert at the legal seminars. The talks will be presented in regularly scheduled learning modules that are recorded for anytime viewing through GoToWebinar. Topics will include self-defense in South Carolina, constitutional carry, guns in cars, churches, and on school grounds. Each session will have a generous open question and answers period. There is no cost to you. What's the catch? We just ask you simply check out our sponsors, SouthCarolinaCarry.org and Guest Brady. South Carolina Carry is a nonprofit organization run by concerned South Carolina Second Amendment advocates. It is dedicated to promoting appreciation and respect for basic liberties guaranteed by the Bill of Rights. Guest Brady LLC is a Greenville-based law firm that focuses on real estate and personal injury. Robert Merting, ESQ, is a Greenville-based firearms and general practices law firm. For more information, please check on the respective buttons below. Now, South Carolina Carry is going to be publishing this announcement on their blog, and it will go out to all of the South Carolina Carry members and volunteers that are on our email alert list. And I say our because I am part of South Carolina Carry, so I can say that. And so anyway, we're going to publish this email will be published to our blog in the morning, and then it'll go out to all of our members. And it's also going to be sent out to several other Second Amendment email lists that these attorneys have access to. So, Coffee, Donuts, and South Carolina Gun Law is going to be happening again Thursday, February 29th at 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. It's going to be a live seminar at Guest and Brady LLC at 745 North Pleasantburg Drive, Greenville, South Carolina. So I would highly recommend that you take advantage of this, especially if you live in that area. All right? So now, having said all of that, I'm going to close that and switch over to our episode 21, HB 3594 Amendments Update. So that's the constitutional carry bill that's currently being batted around between the House of Representatives and the Senate in Columbia. So what I want to do is I want to update you on the amendments to this bill. And the amendments were kind of broken down in layman's terms by South Carolina Carry, Roy Harmon and Mr. Merting, Robert Merting. So I'm just going to kind of run down this list. I got 6 pages here, but amendment number 7. It's the Senate version. Says adds active members of the General Assembly to the list of officials that may carry a firearm anywhere in the state, as well as county clerks of court and public defenders. Public defenders may not carry firearms into correctional facilities. Code 2321-240. I'm hoping that you can see my screen here. Amendment 18. This is the House version. SLED renews permits upon request. SLED can charge $50 for renewal. This fee must be waived for retired law enforcement and disabled veterans. Renewal application must be completed. Photo ID must be submitted. The Senate version of this is SLED will automatically renew a currently valid permit without application. SLED will not charge more than the cost of the renewal of a driver's license to renew this permit. Code 2331-215. Photo ID must still be submitted unless a permit holder has a CWP designation on the front of their driver's license. An applicant for a new, renewed, or replacement driver's license may request to have the department to add a concealed weapons holder designation to the front. Code 56-1-140. Okay, here is Amendment 20. For the House, identical language for 16-23-20, and there's no change for the Senate, identical language. All right, so Senate Amendment number 22. No severability clause in the House version, and it says a Senate version is severability clause included. I have no idea what that means. Amendment 26. The House version prohibits carrying a firearm into a hospital, medical clinic, doctor's office, or any other facility where medical services or procedures are performed unless expressly authorized by the appropriate entity. The Senate version says prohibits carrying a firearm into a hospital, medical clinic, doctor's office, or any other facility where medical services or procedures are performed unless expressly authorized by the employer. Code 16-23-20. Note, this language change was later corrected in Amendment 34, see below. Amendment 27. For the House, permit holders must have their permit on their persons whenever carrying a concealable weapon. Law enforcement must be informed, and permit must be presented when a law enforcement officer identifies himself and requests identification or a driver's license from a permit holder. Permit holder must immediately notify SLED of a lost or stolen permit. Firearm owners or other persons in legal possession of firearm, rifle, or shotgun in this state who suffer loss of theft of such weapons must notify SLED. The Senate side of Amendment number 27 says permit holders must report loss of permit within 48 hours of when they become aware or should have become aware of loss or theft of permit. Failure to report a lost permit in a timely manner would result in a misdemeanor. Firearm owners or other persons in legal possession of a firearm, rifle, or shotgun in this state who suffer loss or theft of such weapons must notify the appropriate law enforcement agency within 10 days of discovery of such loss or theft. Code 233121. I want to apologize if you keep hearing dings in the background. Those are notifications from social media and email. And I have some of those things open for the purposes of this podcast episode, so please ignore those. Okay, so apparently Senate Amendment number 27 is continued. So under the House version, it should say, who suffer loss or theft of such weapons must notify the appropriate law enforcement agency within 30 days of discovery of such loss or theft. So that was 27 continued. Senate Amendment number 27. Senate Amendment number 31 for the House prohibits carrying a concealable weapon in a courthouse or courtroom. The Senate version says prohibits carrying a concealable weapon to a courthouse, courtroom, or other publicly owned building, whether owned by the state, a county, a municipality, or other political subdivision. Court is held and during the time that court is in session. That's Code 162320. Amendment 34 for the House places limitations on firearm carrying to prohibit carrying into any office of the governing body of a county, school district, municipality, or special purpose district. Prohibits carrying a firearm into church or other established religious sanctuary. Prohibits carrying a firearm into a hospital, medical clinic, doctor's office, or any other facility where medical services or procedures are performed unless expressly authorized by the appropriate entity. Prohibits carrying a firearm into the residence or dwelling place of another person. Prohibits carrying firearms into a polling place on election day. On election days. The Senate side of this says extends limitations on firearm carrying to prohibit carrying into any office or business meeting of the governing body of county, school district, municipality, or special purpose district. Also prohibits carrying a firearm to a polling place on election day. Code 162320. Prohibits carrying a firearm into church or other established religious sanctuary unless express permission is given by the appropriate church official or governing body. That's Code 162320. Prohibits carrying a firearm into the residence or dwelling place of another person without the express permission of the owner or person in legal control or possession of the residence or dwelling place as appropriate. Code 162320. Exempts qualified retired law enforcement officers from location carry restrictions. 162320. Exempts people carrying in accordance with Section 240 from location-based prohibitions. Allows anyone who is not legally prohibited from carrying a firearm to store one anywhere in their vehicle, regardless of if it is occupied or not. Code 162320 prohibits carrying a firearm into a hospital, medical clinic, doctor's office, or any other facility where medical services or procedures are performed unless expressly authorized by the appropriate entity. Corrects Amendment 26 as noted. All right, so Senate Amendment number 36. The House version says, requires SLED to provide concealed weapons training to the public without cost. SLED may contract this training to private certified instructors, local law enforcement, or may handle it itself. This course must be offered at least twice a month in every county in the state unless sufficient demand exists to require more. The Senate version of number 36 says requires SLED to provide concealed weapons training to the public without cost. SLED may contract this training to private certified instructors, local law enforcement, or may handle it itself. This course must be offered at least twice a month in every county in the state unless sufficient demand exists to require more. That's codes 23, 31, 215, 1, 2, and 3. Any person found guilty of committing or attempting to commit a crime with a concealed weapon could face an enhanced sentence of imprisonment for no more than 3 years unless they hold a valid CWP. Also, the sentence may only be issued or only be used as an enhancement and only if the suspect is found guilty of the underlying offense. Code 1623-495. SLED must provide all federally licensed firearm retailers with notice to distribute documentation to buyers explaining that a South Carolina law provides a process to obtain a CWP and that law does allow for law-abiding citizens to carry guns. The document must also inform purchasers of the potential for an enhanced sentence if they commit a crime with a concealed weapon without a CWP. The age to obtain a CWP is lowered from 21 to 18. All right, so South Carolina Senate Amendment 40. It's not present in the House version. The Senate version says a person may apply for an expungement of one conviction for unlawful possession of a handgun if the conviction occurred prior to the passage of this bill. All applications must be made within 5 years of the enactment of this section. Code 17-1-65. All right, so that's 6 pages of amendments that have been broken down into layman's terms. You might be asking, where can I find the official information on Amendment H 3594? Well, I'm going to show it to you. There's a service called Legiscan. You'll see it up here at the top. Legiscan.com. SC Bill H 3594/2023, which is when that bill was submitted, I guess. So you're looking here at, this is it, SC H 3594 2023-2024 125th General Assembly, South Carolina House Bill 3594, status spectrum partisan bill, Republican 69-0, status engrossed on February 23rd 2023, 50% progression. There's a bunch of other information. Summary is written in all capital letters, so good luck reading that. It makes my brain hurt to try to read that. You can subscribe to this, by the way. Here's all the sponsors. I think I see R's on all of these. These are all Republican sponsors. I don't see any Democrats. So, roll call is here. I'm not going to bother to read all that for you. You can check that out on your own. So the last thing that happened on 2/15 2024. House insists upon amendment and conference committee appointed reps Caskey, B.J. Cox, and Bamberg. On 213, roll call, yeas were 85, nays 26. And on 213, 2024, return to Senate with amendments, and Senate non-concurrence and House amendment. So they're batting the thing back and forth, and now it's going to a special committee where Caskey, B.J. Cox, and Bamberg, who are committee appointed representatives who will do whatever it is they're going to do, come to some sort of an agreement, compromise, I don't know. If you stay tuned to South Carolina Carry, which I'm going to bring that up here, southcarolinacarry.org, and if you go up here to the blog, you will see the H3594 goes back to the House. That was posted on February the 1st by Sheriff Scott in Constitutional Carry, Gun Laws, Legislative Updates. So if you'll stay tuned to our blog, every time there's a change to the status of the bill, H3594, we post updates on our blog on a regular basis. Right? So anyway, that's pretty much it. Like I said, you can go to legiscan.com and you can search for the bill number over here on the left. And I've got this bookmarked, legiscan.com/sc/bill/H3594/2023. That's the URL. Let me see if I can copy that and make it larger. Let's see, notepad. I wonder if I bring the notepad up. Let's see. Let's get rid of that and put that there. Let me see if I can make it larger. Edit. Let's see. Font. 11. Let's make it big. 18. Let's see. Maybe that's a little easier for y'all to see. I made the font bigger. Let's see. Anyway, let's edit some more. Let's see if I can make it bigger. If you're like me and you're older and your eyes are not quite as good as they used to be, then you'll appreciate what I'm doing here. Let's make it size 26. All right. There you go. That should be easier for you to see. https://legiscan.com. That's legiscan.com/sc/bill/H3594/2023. Okay. And I want to go back to the email that I had. Where was it? Let's go down here. I don't think that's it. Let's see, where is it? Roy Harmon. There it is, right? Coffee Donuts and South Carolina Gun Law. South Carolina Gun Law. Shaw's 2023. Join leading South Carolina gun law author and attorney Steve Shaw along with attorney Robert Merting for free South Carolina gun law talks. That's going to be in Greenville at Guest Brady LLC in their classroom. That's 745 North Pleasantburg Drive in Greenville. It's going to be recorded, so if you can't make the classroom session, which will have a question and answer session after the speech or the talk, you can watch it online. And there's a red button. Hopefully there'll be a red button when you look at the email that you're going to get, and you click on it. It'll say register now. Right? Talk 1, home, vehicle, and work carry in South Carolina. And there's a place for you to put your first name, your last name, your email address, and you click register. Okay? And then I'm sure you'll get a follow-up email telling you where to go and how to do it. Where to go to be there physically in person. And if you can't make it because you're going to be at work like I am, then later on there'll be a link probably sent to you to where you can watch it online. And it's only 30 minutes long, so it's kind of like a podcast. You just bring it up and listen to it, and listen to what's being said. And there's going to be several of these types of talks in the very near future, right? So I want to encourage everybody listening to this podcast to try to attend that. I think it's very important, and I think it's extremely beneficial for people to know what the South Carolina gun laws are and how it applies to us with regards to how we can carry, where it's legal to carry, where it's not legal to carry, and it will keep us out of trouble, keep us out of jail, and keep us from losing our CWP, right? Which is what we absolutely want to do. We want to practice gun safety. And part of gun safety is knowing what the South Carolina gun laws are, and keep yourself out of trouble. Here is Guest and Brady's website, your real estate and personal injury lawyers. There's their phone number. Purpose and mission. Our purpose is to glorify Christ as faithful stewards of all entrusted to us. Our mission is to love and serve all His people while providing quality legal services. Here's real estate services and personal injury services. And let's see. That is them. And let me go back to email. Let's go back to this. And I want to, you already know the link to southcarolinacarry.org. There's a link to Guest and Brady. Link to Robert Merting. So here's his link. Robert K. Merting, attorney at law. And you can go to his website, which is rkmerting.com. All right. So, I think that's pretty much it for today's episode. And I appreciate you taking the time to listen to our Liberty and Gun Rights podcast. And I thank you for the privilege of your time. Our podcast is hosted on Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. Be sure to share our podcast with your Second Amendment friends, family, and coworkers. You can contact us at Liberty Gun Rights Podcast at proton.me. That's Liberty Gun Rights Podcast at proton.me. Thank you for listening to